Hello, this is Wanda, and this is Diaspora Connect. I decided to do a video because I tried to do a live earlier, but it was so much noise in the background. I was at a local cafe and I was trying to do a live on my computer. I'm unable to do lives on my phone because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So I was trying to do a live on my computer and it was very, very noisy. I did not realize that the video would have so much noise in it. So I actually did get rid of that video and I am redoing a video. So I really just wanted to come to you. I was not really talking about anything in particular, but just touching on a few things that kind of I was thinking about being here on the continent now and not being in America right now. I just reflecting on how terrible we are treated in the West and how beautiful we are treated here on the continent now. It has been a pleasure, a joy, which if you are a old subscriber, you know I always inform you of how much I love Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, and the continent, especially Tanzania, and Dar es Salaam, and how beautiful and wonderful it's been for me. Having had no major issues. I really do love being here. I appreciate it. I feel grateful and blessed to be here. And I wanted to thank all of my subscribers. I wanted to welcome all of my new subscribers and thank you for your viewership. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Thank you for taking the time to just listen to what I have to say. I want to start utilizing this platform as well to kind of educate some of those continental Africans concerning what we go through as diaspora in the West, and especially in America, because I was born and raised there. Now, can you just imagine living in a land where you are treated as a foreigner? Even though you were born and raised there, you were always treated as a foreigner, never accepted as a so-called American, because we are not really considered Americans, the black ones. We're considered black Americans, so we're considered like a slave class or a second-class citizen, never an American. So, for example, if the U.S. was to come to the continent, come here to Tanzania and get its people, it would not get me. It would leave me here. So this, they would not get me because they would look at me and say, oh, you belong there. So, and this is the feeling that, the idea that you should get in terms of how we're treated on the continent. We're always looked at as a foreigner, even though we live there, even though almost everything that was built there was built on the back of slaves, which is my ancestors, but we've never been treated and accepted as if it was our land or our home. So I've never felt like I was at home in America. I've never liked America, period. Even growing up, when I would see the slave movies and how we were treated by the Mzungu, I never did like that place, and I never really, I just never really cared for Mzungu so much because of that. I just couldn't get past those slave movies and how we were treated and raped, and our kids killed and murdered, and even till this day. So yeah, I've never felt at home in America. I've never felt like it was my home, which, come to find out, it's really not. We didn't originate from there. All Africans come from the continent. It does not matter if you are black people, I would say. It does not matter if you are Aborigine or whatever, Indian or whatever, any kind of dark-featured person. Most, all of us originate from the continent of Africa, because this is the cradle of humanity, cradle of civilization. So all human beings come from here. Now, some of them were mutated, but I'm not going to get into that. But the original man, which is Adam and Eve, comes from the ground and the dirt, the soil of the continent of Africa. So this is where all black people, Africans, come from. And so I do consider myself a Hebrew Israelite or a Bantu, but African is I mean, I'm African, meaning you come from the continent of Africa. So originally we were stolen from the Congo, the ones who were shipped to America. The first, well, I would say the first ship that arrived in 1619 came from the Congo. So basically, we were, I consider myself Congolese because our ancestors were taken from the Congo and brought to America on that first slave ship. And so, yes, we come from many different countries and many different countries on the continent, West Africa, South Africa. We come from everywhere, but the first slave ship that arrived came from the Congo. So we could also trace the transatlantic slave trade that with the ship that left here to come to America came from the slaves that were in the Congo. So we're in the Americas, we are Africans. At the end of the day, you can call yourself Hebrew, Israelite, Bantu, but you're still African, okay? So yeah, so that's kind of my feeling, or that's just my experience of living in America as a so-called black entity. We never named ourselves black. Mzungu named us black because they're white, they named us black. So we know we're African, Bantu, Hebrew, but the white, the African American, all these different names they gave us. So it's not what we gave ourselves, and it's not what the Most High, uncreated Creator, Almighty Yah gave us. He never called us those names. So we don't accept those. But most people know us as such. So I always say that. I name all of them, all of the names, colored, Negro, nigga, everything they've given us, you know. So, but anyway, we know who we are and what we are. But we are the children and the chosen of the Most High Yah, the apple of his eye. We are the original man and woman from the soil of the continent of Africa. From the rich soil is where we originate. So it doesn't matter where you were born and raised. What matters is where you originate. So we originated from the continent of Africa. Yes, we are seen as foreigners, and that's because we were born in another land. So for me, when continental Africans see my passport, or when I go to immigration or wherever, and they see my passport and they say, "Oh, you're American." And I say, "No, I'm African, but I was born in America." And so they're looking kind of like, sometimes they laugh, but they're looking at me kind of like puzzled, like, and I'm like, serious. I originated. All black people, all Africans come from the continent of Africa. We were born and raised in different Western European countries, but we do not originate from those Western European countries. We do not originate from America. That's why I always say America is a European country, just like England and London and all those other, Germany and Netherlands. All those are Australia. All those are European countries. America is a European country. It's a brother and sister of those European countries. Even though we have built everything, and even though many of us are there, it's still a European country. So it's a lot of African Americans or black people that keep telling me online that America is not a European country. America is a European country. And so it's under a Mzungu system. And so when they say Americans, they are not talking about us. They are talking about Mzungu. We are black Americans. That's why they always say black Americans. So we're not the originals. So what we